So now it's official. So hey guys, it's good to see you today.
All right. Thank you everyone for joining this premiere webinar with our founder and CEO, Victoria. Just for context, my name is Steven Khuong. I'm helping lead customer engagement over at Viewst, and we're very excited to spend the next 30 minutes to tell you all what Viewst can do and how it could really improve your lives as a designer, especially for those that are working in the ad production industry. So with that being said, Victoria, I'm going to hand it over to you. I'm going to facilitate as well. So I think it'll be very, very critical for everyone on this webinar to understand, well, first of all, what is Viewst and how did you come up with the name?
Interesting points. To make the long story short, the initial idea of the service was like to build a new kind of rich media ads. And the Viewst was about viewable super tool. So to build really cool and engaging rich media ads. And that's how we ended up with ViewST, Viewable Super Tool. But then we pivoted to this new idea, but we kept the naming. And again, the initial idea was to help marketing designers, first of all, to eliminate the boring routine, because there are so many comments on both like Reddit and Twitter where marketing designers say that they are burning out very quickly because, they ideally they were thinking that joining like marketing space, they're going to develop outstanding creative ideas. But in fact, during the first year, they have to deal with like boring routine copy paste just to create different aspect ratios. And, this is a fast growing market pain. So Viewst is a platform for marketing designers to reclaim their time and to automate this smart resize, variation scaling, this kind of things.
So Victoria, so why should they trust you and why should they use Viewst? Folks are already using Adobe, Photoshop, they're already using Figma for UI, and consumer designers are already using Canva. So why is Viewst even a consideration?
Thank you, Steven. This is a great question. So first of all, the tools, the platforms you mentioned, they are great, no doubt. And most of designers basically use these three platforms, Adobe, Figma, and Canva, even when we are thinking about marketing assets. But none of these platforms were developed specifically for marketing needs. And if you are thinking about banners, they have so many specific technical requirements you need to follow in order to be accepted by different networks. And none of these platforms were designed to solve these specific challenges. And that's how we ended up with Viewst, because initially we were the one who also used all of them, like Canva, Figma, and Adobe. And you asked me why marketing designers should trust us. So since we experienced same pain point, we realized that usually designers, they don't have any single, minute to learn something new. They're so overwhelmed and, overloaded with many different things. So we tried to build this platform to look familiar to like other platform they use. They can connect all these platforms to Viewst, not to like double their efforts in designing, so they can easily upload their mockups from different platforms. And this is probably where I should share my screen and show.
Yeah, before you do that, Victoria, I just want to clarify for our audience. So what you're saying essentially is that if you're a designer and you're comfortable creating in your Adobe suite or your Canva or your Figma, that's totally fine. However, when it comes time for production for ad networks, this is where you should take your assets into Viewst. This is where Viewst really flexes the superpowers. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, keep designing in your favorite platform. But then when you think of production and scaling, Viewst will save a lot of time for you and make your life much easier.
That being said, what if I want to design natively in Viewst?
Is that possible as well? Of course, we have quite a powerful editor, and again, it reminds you editors on other platforms, so you don't have to waste a lot of time, actually any time, to learn how to use it. As we can see, based on the our customers' traction, usually it's 1-2 onboarding sessions, 30 minutes each is more than enough, to start using it at scale. So we do have the editor, and you can build from scratch. Okay, fantastic. With that being said, why don't we focus on the folks that already have assets in either Adobe, Canva, or Figma? Let's go to the UI. Let's show folks how they can get their assets into Viewst very quickly. Let's start there. Okay, so do you see my screen right now? Almost. There we go. Okay, I see it. Yeah, amazing. We call this shared workspace. So let me go straight to the point. As I mentioned, you are able to upload your designs from Adobe Photoshop, from Figma, and from Canva. You just simply go to this drop-down menu and choose Upload Design. So I'm not going to switch my screens and go to like Figma or Photoshop or Canva. I'm just showing, so we have Figma plugin, and you don't need any plugin to upload your assets from Canva or Photoshop. You just upload it. And when you upload your artboard, like in this case from Figma, you can see everything is editable, and you can, play with copy, with styles, with images. So like you don't have to spend your time to recreate anything from scratch. Amazing. So why don't we go straight into the superpowers? For those that work in the ad production industry, they know that having to manually manipulate an individual aspect ratio over and over and over can cost them hours, if not days of work. Why don't we show our audience how easy it is for us to make manipulations to one ratio and change them all? Let's start there. Sure. Give me, please, a few seconds. Okay, I would show this on a case study. Actually, this is an actual case study, and I got approval from the customer to use this particular case study to show. So you are always able to quickly scale your ad ratios. You just go to Add Size. You choose all ratios you might possibly need, and we do this for you, just with a click of a button. So can you imagine how much time you can save if you work with display ads, or both, actually, social and display, and either you want to repurpose your social into display, or you want to use your mockup from Photoshop and resize it for all media channels. Like, you can do this in seconds using Viewst. Victoria, just so we can share the pain, I'm a Canva user myself. And I know for me to manually recreate each of these aspect ratios in Canva, that right there, your board right there, I'm looking at 2 hours minimum. And the fact that Viewst did that properly with the text and the image overlays for each ratio so perfectly, that right there is a tremendous time saver. But what if I wanted to change the color of all the words? Do I have to go into each one and then spend another hour changing it? How does Viewst make this fast? Okay, first of all, thanks for the great question. So let me go one step back. You see how many aspect ratios we do have here. And then this is a common thing. When very last minute ahead of a campaign launch, you get, change request. Please change, for instance, the style of my copy, and let's change the color. So we change it in one place, and here we go. It was immediately applied to all other ratios. And basically, you can do this with image, with the animation, with the style of your copy, with any element on the canvas. So instead of manually switching between all these aspect ratios and manually fixing this copy style, you fix in one place, and it is applied immediately to all other places, because all banners in the banner set are synchronized. Fantastic.
What about animation? Does this particular asset have animation on this one?
Yeah, this is a great question, as a lot of our existing customers, they choose Viewst specifically to speed up their animation production process. So we have the animator here. Okay, let me enlarge this timeline. So you on the left tab, you see all the elements from your design. Like in this case, we have 2 slides. You can switch between slides and see, elements on the second slide. Let's go back to the first one. You just click on a timeline across the elements you want to animate. And here are like more than 100 animation presets, like appearance, disappearance, accents. And the great thing that you actually are able to tune each specific animation preset to look really custom and not like similar to all others. So you can change easing and type and like everything. And you're able to play the animation of each slide here on the timeline using play button, or you are able to preview all slides all together, clicking the play button on top menu. So just like for the sake of understanding, it took me, okay, we have quite, I would say quite a lot of elements here. So it took me like 15 minutes to build and animate this specific banner. And now see the magic. Whenever you automatically resize your aspect ratios, all animations, they are automatically copied. So you don't have to recreate it from scratch. And if you work with many different ratios, and then let's think about localization, because a lot of brands, they use pretty similar designs, but in different languages. So how much time you can save using all these automations.
So just to clarify, Victoria, in Viewst, we can change the language. We can localize the language.
Yeah, that's right. Let me show it to you. So basically, you go to text element, and you can translate it to different languages. From what I know from our customers, because yeah, I don't speak all of these languages, but a lot of our customers, they use Spanish and Portuguese, and they're very satisfied. Of course, anyway, we recommend to like check this out with a native speaker, but yeah, you can easily translate this.
Fantastic. And Victoria, as I'm thinking about the potential for this to be broader than the base of production, advertising production, and advertising design, I can see a use case where, for example, if I'm a student, for example, and I wanted to create a really cool infographic for my research topic, I can do it in Viewst as well. Can you show us an example of a cool infographic?
Sure, let me go to a specific example here. And yeah, the platform is so flexible. So basically, you can build pretty much anything and animate pretty much anything. So let me show you, for instance, this chart first, and then another infographic. Okay, so I'm playing the animation right now. Everything I'm presenting here, I built from scratch, like design and animation. So this is one example. Let me go to, yeah, let me go to a different one. For instance, this infographic. Okay, let's play the animation here. It's worth to mention that you don't have to go to code. Being a designer, you can quickly and easily build this kind of animated designs without coding.
Great. And what about industry best standards? I know that back in the days, in order to get something to move on an image, you have to export it as GIF, but then it looks pretty funky. Things are pixelated. Now, I believe the best practice is HTML5, but most of the platforms out there don't do a good job of outputting HTML5. How does Viewst get over this challenge?
Yeah, Steven, thank you for this great question. So First of all, yes, modern display networks, they don't accept anything but HTML5. And of course, designers try to use like Figma plugins, or Canva is useless because they don't work with HTML5, like Figma plugins, or you can use Adobe Animate. But again, when you build Adobe Animate HTML5 file, it's not ready like to be used in ad network. You have manually to actually fix your code. Anyway, you have to code. At least, you know, you have to know some basics. With Viewst, you don't have to code at all. We take care of it. So whenever you build animation and you want to download HTML5, we recommend just to use custom because it works with all possible ad networks out there. We take care of optimization. This is another pain point for designers. You shall provide a certain way of the file in order to be accepted by different ad networks. So we take care of it. You don't have to worry about it. And when you download HTML5, it's ready to use in all like different ad networks out there. So you don't have to fix anything. You just upload it to your ad account and you're good to go.
Awesome. There's another use case that I want to bring up. There are a lot of brands out there, D2C brands in particular, that have products. For example, a beauty brand may have a bottle that's blue, and then a bottle that's translucent, and then a bottle that's gold. And all of these things are sold on Amazon. So these are called variants. And if I had to do that in Adobe or Canva, it would take me years to create all the variants readily available for Amazon, for example. How does Viewst take on this challenge?
Yeah, this is basically another great question, because we do have some use cases I can share with you a bit later. So you have a banner. Let's call it a product card, but not any, I don't know, boring product card, but quite, you know, stylish one. So you can design anything you want. So you are able to connect a feed. Okay, upload CSV file. Let me upload a CSV file here. Okay, it's uploaded. Then you choose an element on the canvas you want to vary. You connect to the feed you've just uploaded. Okay, connect to feed. Great. And then you, because you know this is an image, obviously you connect it to a column called like photo image, and as you can see, there are 10 rows in my CSV file. So basically, choosing different rows, you can preview your images. It might, you know, it might take some time to upload, and probably that's why it's not so fast. But anyway, so maybe I have just similar images in some rows. So basically, you build just one design, then you connect your CSV file. Like in my example, I have 10 rows. And then when you go to download it, it's probably animated, I'm not sure, but anyway, let's. So all of a sudden, you download 10 different variations. So you don't have to manually redesign for each specific product. So same way, you can play with description here and like price and anything else. So you can connect any element on your canvas to a specific column on the CSV file.
That's amazing. So if I'm hearing you correctly, Victoria, what you're saying is that instead of having me, the designer, to go into Canva or Photoshop, to copy an image, change the layer, save it, replicate that process over and over and over again, what you're saying to me is that in Viewst, as long as I have one design and I can create the relationship on the CSV file, for example, each column is an attribute. Column 1 can be the price, column 2 can be the photo, etc., etc. As long as I can manipulate that CSV file, all of these assets will change automatically. And when I click download, I can download 50 variations, 1,000 variations. I can A/B test all of these things. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. And I'm willing to share a specific use case. So we have a customer who is like doing, I would say, hyper personalization. They have nearly 200 different groups they're targeting. So for each group, they have specific variation of banner set, like 5 ratios. So can you imagine how, like, they share that they have like 50 designers in-house, and usually for a single campaign they spend like up to 3 weeks to build all these ratios, all these variations, and then to approve them and to fix like last minute changes. With Viewst, they actually did it with one designer within like 30 minutes. So you can imagine the scale.
I really appreciate this, Victoria, because I think it's often difficult for the consumer to discern the difference between the major platforms. For example, Canva really is a design platform for the consumer end user. And then you have the other end of the spectrum with the Adobe Suite is really a platform for professional designers. And then you have Figma, which is really a platform for UI designers. And then you have Viewst up here on the top right corner, which is a platform for production at scale for designers, professional designers working primarily in the ad space. I think that is a key distinction that we want to make. Is that also correct in your view?
Yeah, this is 100% correct. And again, Steven, we don't have much time today, and I'm not sure whether we have like open questions in our chart. But anyway, this is just, you know, like a glance. So there are so much more. So much more tools you can use to make your life easier, like uploading and organizing your assets, like creating different teams, and let different teams to collaborate on different projects. So there is so much
let's
more.
talk about that for 1 second, because I think we are running out of time, and I want to reserve the last 5 minutes for Q&A. But let's talk about teams for example. Okay, I'll be the first to admit, I absolutely hate creating new accounts into new platforms, okay? So if someone had to get approval for a particular asset, how does that collaboration work? Can you show us?
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so first of all, again, like emphasizing that the onboarding process is really easy. Like, as I mentioned, we try to build it similarly to the, you know, most popular platforms, and we even use same keyboard shortcuts to make your life easy. As a designer, you use it a lot, and it helps you to save like up to 30% of your time. So basically, yeah, to shorten this learning curve. And okay, Steven, sorry, about like, could you please remind me about
Sure. The question that I wanted us to focus on is the ability to share an asset and get approval for that asset without having the other end user create an account, because creating accounts is such a nightmare, right? So I
Sure.
believe in the Viewst platform, you can easily send a link over.
Yeah, this is correct. So
Yeah.
first of all, you save a lot of time on communication process between all different stakeholders, and there are a lot. Usually, sometimes like up to 10 people involved into launching a single campaign, like account managers, project managers, media buyers, marketer, designer. So like we do have some.
These people never have to create an account, right? They don't,
No,
unless they want to. Yeah.
No, yeah, you can actually share the link to the project to any external stakeholder, and this person is able to open this page in a browser and first of all see all statuses, so everybody is on the same page. You don't waste time like sending back and forth emails. Okay, what's going on, where we are? So you can see the status of the whole banner set, you can see the deadline, you can see who is in charge of this project, you can comment. Even being an external stakeholder and not having Viewst account, you can send comments regarding the whole banner set or a specific ratio, for instance, and set up a status for a specific ratio, which is also important because we see sometimes our customer, they, for instance, approve vertical, but they keep working on horizontal. It happens.
Sure. Absolutely. Victoria, we have a few minutes left. I want to take this opportunity to do Q&A with our audience. If there's anyone that's interested in asking a question, we'd be happy to answer that. There's a not sure if you guys can see it. There's a Q&A section on the left side panel. Please feel free to drop a line in there if you have any questions. While we're waiting for that, Victoria, how do people get in touch with you if they want to learn more, if they want a demo? What's the best way?
Yeah, so first of all, you can easily book a private demo through our website. There is an opportunity on the homepage, and also you are able to reach out to me like to my personal email, and I'm always excited, to pick up and like work with a new person and learn more about like challenges and go through the platform. And my personal email is vvictoriadubin@viewst.com.
So just to clarify, it is V as in Victor, D as in dog at Viewst, VIEWST.com.
Yeah, that's correct.
Great. And then as far as social media, you're on LinkedIn. That's the best way to DM you?
That's the best way to DM me, yeah.
All right, fantastic. Just looking at Q&A, there is one question, Victoria. One of the attendees want to know, how hard is it to onboard? What's the learning curve?
Usually it takes like one onboarding session, which is like 30 minutes long. And sometimes, it followed up by some, questions over email. But what I can say, like, I know that like we are a startup, and a lot of startup, they're trying to optimize their costs and apply like AI and different chatbots. At Viewst, we do care about each customer we have, and we do have a live chat, and we are always happy to hear like requests, and actually we prioritize our roadmap based on our like prospects and customers requests, feature requests. So yeah, we do care about each of our potential and existing customer. Yeah.
Another question. This is a user. She works at an agency, and she wants to know if our agency decides to use this, do you have customers of bigger brands that have used Viewst, and how is their experience?
Yeah, so basically, we are we're happy to share all these testimonials on our website, but just to name a few, like Neuberger Berman and Jura and Mer. So we do have like big customers who enjoy using Viewst, and most of them are like big professional teams who have to launch big campaigns across different regions in different languages. And yeah, so they enjoy this automation and speed up in their communication and launch.
Fantastic. We have time for one last question. I'm sorry, there's a bunch of questions here, but we only have time for one more. I'm going to take this one. Victoria, question is, what is the typical time that a customer saves when they switch from using Adobe Photoshop to Viewst in scaling the aspect ratios?
Okay, so basically, we have another use case here. So one of our customers managed to upload his existing mockups from Figma and then animate them in a few minutes, literally. And before using Viewst, they used to work with a contractor who code creating animations, and usually took them like up to 2 days to build 2 different aspect ratios. So you can imagine from 2 days working with the external contractor to just few minutes using Viewst.
Fantastic. Victoria, thank you so much. Audience members, thank you so much. We're running out of time. We're out of time, actually. We're going to send this video recording to everyone that has participated. And also, Victoria, if I'm not mistaken, you're going to upload this onto YouTube as well, correct?
Sure, yes.
Okay, great. And this will not be the last webinar. This will be the first of many. This tool is phenomenal. As the person in charge of working with our clients, I can tell you the feedback in the last 3 months have been phenomenal. The product roadmap is moving at a velocity that I've never seen before. So lots of exciting stuff to come. And we thank you for your time. Victoria, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Steven, for facilitating this conversation. Have a good one.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.